Hello, this is a quick video on how to assemble your Magcrab mag holder. This one we're going to be assembling a Talon one for these magazines, but this will also apply if you print the full length version. So you need your body right here. We have two grips. These have a locking nub on one side, which is going to grab the magazine and allow it to be held. And then we have a divider piece. And then finally we'll have a fastener at the very end. This filament's not very high quality, so it does tend to string a little bit. You can clean it up with a lighter or however you want to do that. Just enough to melt the strings. Okay, looks pretty good. So what you're gonna want to do is first get about 60 inches of paracord. You could go a little bit longer than this, but I've found at least 60 inches. You can use Harbor Freight, black paracord, or pretty much whatever you can find. This one happens to be off AliExpress. So the back of the magazine has a hole all the way through. So first we need to thread through that. And as you're going through and building it, you can always try to make sure that the paracord is even on the left and right side. It might end up that you have to take it apart a little bit to fix that. But okay, and then we're gonna go through the holes on the grips and the divider. If you can avoid twisting the paracord, that's good, because it's going to look a little bit better if you just kind of do it like that. Okay, let's go through the other side. The holes on the Talon version are actually a little bit smaller. They're 4.75 millimeter diameter compared to the full size, which is 5 millimeter. Just like that. After I cut the paracord, what I'll usually do is kind of pull the outside so that it goes past the inner. You don't really want the inner to stick out if you can help it, because what can happen is the inner can separate and come out and kind of ruin it. So I just kind of do that, and then just enough to melt it, and then kind of roll it with your finger. Okay, so these are about even. You have it through the main. Now the process is going to be the same on both sides. We're going to go through the first hole over here. I have a sewing needle here. Just kind of wiggle it back and forth. It's really not too difficult. And then when you get to here, I like to go like that. Again, we're trying to avoid twisting the paracord. Okay, let's do it on the other side. On this design, the holes are all the way through on the top and bottom. So if you need to clean out, you can take a drill bit and just kind of go through one side and then the other. Having the holes here could also open up some possibilities for customization, different ways of threading it. So that's where we're at. On the full-size version, you actually kind of want to hold these together a little bit, because these are supposed to move, but the outsides kind of stay where they are. It's these two that really grip the magazine. This is more important on the full-size version because it's easy for the orange pieces sometimes to get in the way, and then it doesn't work properly. See? But as long as you have that kind of action going on, you should be okay. All right, so at this point, nothing's really going to tighten up. We still have quite a few holes to do. So now we got through that first one. What we're going to do is go to the opposite side, right across. But we're going to go down one like that. We're going to thread up and through. So you can see the white part is actually coming out a little bit, which is what I warned you about. So what we could do is just kind of pull it a little bit. Let's correct this. I'm going to cut the very end and just pull it back so the white is kind of not poking out. Just roll it. There we go. You don't really want this part to be super thick because that'll make assembly more difficult. Okay, we could do this on the other side, but let's just finish one set here. So now that we came through and down and then we go up, we're going to go back across. This is also the same if you print the Saya Blitz by Zach Friedman. Okay. So come through, down, across, down, up, across, down, and then through. Okay, let's move to the other side and do that. We already have a little bit of tension here, which is good. You can kind of pull that taut. We're still mostly even. The right side is a little bit shorter, but it's not a big deal. Let's actually just fix that now. Just pull a little bit from the left.
A little bit to the right. And now we're closer to even.
Okay. And you really only need the blue pieces to come in maybe 2 millimeters on each side to get a good grip. And we can adjust this later. Okay, so we're going to repeat and we're going to go down and across. All right. And then we're going to go through. This is the last step. We're going to go through and then through this longer part here, which can be a little bit trickier because there's more resistance on the cord. It shouldn't be too bad.
I'm just kind of wiggling it back and forth and pushing just a tiny bit. Here we go. All right.
And let's do the other side to make sure we're mostly symmetrical. All right, we look pretty good. It's about perfect. We do have quite a bit extra, so maybe you could cut like 50 inches instead of 60 for the Talon. So now that we're here, we're gonna go through on one side.
And then go through on the other.
All right, and that's actually pretty tight already. But if you have cord locks, these are for like 4 to 5 millimeter paracord. I'm gonna depress it, get the wire through. Sometimes you really have to wiggle it with these because there's kind of like, it's a little difficult. Just kind of rotate the wire for the paracord.
Just go on with it.
All right, so that's pretty good. We're just about done. Let's give it a try. And that is super, super nice. Super nice locking action, super firm. This is not going to come out even if you run it upside down. There is a little bit of a break-in period where the paracord rearranges itself. So if you find that it's too tight, I wouldn't worry about it too much. One thing you can do on the locking nub, which locks right here on the magazine, is you can take a Q-tip and some oil and put it on that nub on the grip pieces. And that can make it just a little bit smoother to put that magazine in and out. So there's about complete. Let me get my fastener. And the way this works is basically, hopefully you have 2 straps of paracord, 2 MOLLE straps on your belt or your vest. What you're gonna do is put this through, and then you're gonna push your 1 MOLLE wrap through here. And then this is gonna go through the MOLLE. It's gonna keep going. And then the next MOLLE loop is gonna be here. You're gonna have to kind of get your finger in and push it down and get this to go through that. And then once you have it through both, you can just push it up and then it locks just like that. And that's all you need to do to secure this to your belt. So yeah, that's about that. Hopefully this was helpful and you have fun using this project, and thanks for watching.